And so instead of saying, well, what I really want to do is act, and I just want to create, and I want to do whatever I feel like all day, and if I feel like reading a play today, then maybe I'll read it. It's like, no, you're running a business, okay? And if you want to make money as an actor, you have to understand the way that business works. You have to understand that you have to produce a content that is marketable. You have to understand that you have to create material that is uniquely your own. And the more you create content that is uniquely your own, the more your competition becomes irrelevant. Okay, and it doesn't mean that they go away, right? You know what else CEOs don't do? They don't sit on Facebook and look at their competitors for 5 hours a day, because there's no time for that. You have to get to producing your own content, making your own product. Yes, you want to be aware of what your competitors are doing in your market space, but you don't spend all of your time like crying because somebody else booked a job. I don't cry when another meditation teacher comes into New York. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. It's just like, great, good for them. Like, they're gonna attract their audiences, and I'm gonna keep being me and keep attracting my audiences. Same thing, like your friend that you went to college with books their first Broadway show, you're not gonna sit around and cry around it all day. No, you're gonna congratulate them. You're gonna write them a thank you note and like, hey, good job. And then you're gonna focus on creating your own content and creating your own product and making it so uniquely your own. And here's the crazy paradoxical thing that starts to happen, is that the more personal you are with your product, the more personal you are with what you're creating. And that means, so you make a web series and you make it specifically and uniquely about everything that you love, or specifically uniquely about the thing that you are, that makes you different from everybody else. And the more specific you get with that, the more universal your message is. It's just like I'm always saying in acting, you can't make broad general choices. We don't tell stories like once upon a time there was a girl and she learned some stuff, the end. No, that's a boring, boring story. No, we get up and we tell very specific stories. Like once upon a time, there was a princess trapped in a tower and she had very, very long hair. And she had been trapped in this tower for 16 years. And suddenly a suitor came and said, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw down your hair. And he climbed up her hair. That's a very interesting and unique story, right? The more specific you get with your story, the more specific you get with your choices in the actual scenes, the more universally they communicate. This happens in marketing and it happens in performance. When you get up on stage and make a general idea of what you think angry is supposed to be, no one's interested in watching that. If you make it very specific for yourself, of like, how would I feel if my fiance was cheating on me today? That creates things that are specific and real to you. And then people respond to it on a more global and universal level, because what you're tapping into are those things that make you uniquely human. And that's actually why we go to the theater, is to have that shared experience. But we don't get that from vagary. We don't get that from blandness. We get it from specificity. So this is obviously a multi-tiered talk that I'm giving. It's speaking to a lot of different things. But what I want you guys to remember is that being an actor, let us all, intend and create that every single one of you are as successful enough to have your own LLC, your own corporation, that you really are, like Megan Inc., David Inc., Clyde Inc., and that you have that happening. And when that happens, you're gonna have to have an accountant, and you're gonna have to have maybe a lawyer, and you're gonna have to have your agents, you're gonna have to have all these pieces in place. So right now, instead of hating that part of the story, instead of hating like, oh my God, I don't want to audition and I don't want to market myself to agents and casting directors, that's boring. Well, you know what? I don't want to put my stuff into QuickBooks when I'm running my stuff. It's boring. So, but you know what? That's part of a business. And you guys are your own businesses. And so instead of hating it, instead of resisting it, instead of being like, well, that's not who I am. That's not me. I don't do that. Nope. You either figure it out, you either be willing to learn, you outsource it, or maybe you go and get a job at Starbucks and have some, health insurance and let that be your life, or move into a different career where you're going to have an HR program. But if you want to have your own business, you're going to have to get good and enjoy wearing these many hats. So instead of hating it, what if we enjoy it? What if we make all of it really fun? What if today I act like an accountant and I'll do my taxes? And what if today I act like a marketing person and I find the piece of me that really enjoys marketing? And what if today I act like a social media expert and I really get in there and look at all the successful things that my friends are doing to market themselves on social media and I start to make those uniquely for myself? So instead of hating it, instead of resisting it, we just start. We just start running our own business. We start creating our own content. We start producing our own products. And if you get stuck, if you're not sure what to do, figure out the need of the time. Figure out what needs to be said right now. Figure out what stories need to be told right now, and then figure out how your specific set of skills best serves the need of the time. This is the conscious design of happiness. Figure out the need of the time, and then figure out how your specific skills best serve that need. The end.